Almond poppy seed pancakes. I'll make these when I'm craving almond poppy seed muffins from Costco. Mix together all your dry ingredients, including a tablespoon of poppy seeds, and then separately mix together the wet ingredients. Half a cup of yogurt. I'm using plain whole fat yogurt, but anything without a strong flavor will work just fine. A teaspoon of vanilla extract. Half a teaspoon of almond extract. Almond extract is really potent, so you don't need very much for that almond flavor to shine through really nicely. Half a cup of milk. I used plain whole fat regular dairy milk. If you want to use an unsweetened plant milk, I would just add a couple tablespoons of sugar to compensate for the sugars that are naturally present in dairy milk. 1 egg. If you were using a spoon up until this point, it can be a little hard to break up the yolk, as you can see with a spoon, it kind of runs away from it, so a fork or a whisk might help you get the egg a little bit better incorporated. And then I'll use a teaspoon of a neutral oil. I used avocado oil, but whatever you have on hand that has a pretty neutral flavor will work. Mix in the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients. You want to stop when you're not really seeing streaks of flour anymore. It'll still be a little bit lumpy, but that's perfect. You don't want to overmix it and overdevelop the gluten because you want these to be light and tender and fluffy. Let the batter sit for about 10 minutes while you preheat your oiled pan. Same thing with the oil, just use any neutral oil that you have on hand. And once the pan is preheated and you've let the batter rest, go ahead and spoon that in there. This is a thicker batter, so you will want to spoon it rather than trying to pour it. I like just putting 3 in, so I have a little margin for error when I'm flipping, and they don't get too crowded. They're ready to flip when the edges have started to firm up and you can see little bubbles popping through. That's about 4 minutes for me on medium heat. And then it's about another 2 minutes until they're fully done, ready to get off the heat, and whatever toppings of your choice. I really like just putting maple syrup and butter on these. Let the almond poppy seed flavor just really shine through. Since these are a thicker batter, you get thicker pancakes. If you wanted them to be a little bit thinner, you could add 1/8 of a cup or so of extra milk to thin out that batter, make it a little bit more pourable, and you would also get thinner pancakes at the end. But I really enjoy when they're a little bit thicker and more fluffy, so this has been designed with that in mind.